Dzong, formerly based at Mount Kailash in Tibet, of the ancient order of the Nyingpo. Rinpoche reconstructed its primary monastery in exile in Humla, Nepal, where he guides the monastic and Nagpo householder communities. Both a yogi and a scholar, he's written a number of texts in Tibetan, one of which has been translated into English as The Great Secret of Mind. Thank you again for coming. I hope you enjoy. And thank you.
Thank you. Dudjom Sangye Pal, Dorsem Jolan Jansalo, Chosam Dembe Jangirla, Nime, Gabsam Jing, Onjurigi, Tabijaba, Josong, Jojo, Jibiging, Jemalu, Jabaragi, Jojo, Kursam, Tabija, Maja, Chalaje, Tabe, Daje, Mame, Zobe, Janjus. Yeshe Janju Zembala, Dabasunge, Limbola, Zeradanwe, Gavanam, Dine, Janju, Jodo, Rangi, Jura, Pema, Dadenla, Lama, Duje, Zemba, Yegeto, Shinzum, Zempelanzo, Yen Taji, Durji, Tungus, and Longo, Chazokil, Mountain, Japando, Yamata, Denzebeke, Dograda, Girondran, Lechansum, the Zik and Bumjersum, Judagas, and Bonasho looking. Dumali Kunjan, Guru Om Bandrazado Samaya, Manu Balaya, Bandrazado Denamba, the Dandado Nambawa, Sudokoya Membawa, Subokoya Membawa, Radu Membawa, Sarva Siddhi Meprayaza, Sarva Karma Susame, Sadam Shiriyam, Kurong, Ha 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 Ho, Bangawan, Sarva Datan. Vama Samaya Sando Om Bandrasado Samaya Manubalaya Madrasado Denaba Dedandro Membawa Sudoka Membawa Subokoya Membawa Anarado Membawa Sarvasidi Membrayasa Sarva Karma Susame Sadam Shri Aho Bangawa Tadangata Mandra Manza Badra Bhavama Samaya Sato Om Badra Sadhu Samaya Manubalaya Madra Sadhu Denaba Dedandro Membawa Sudanga Membawa Subokoya Memba Rado Membawa Sarvasidi Meprayasa Sarva Karma Susame Sadam Shri Aho Bangawan Sarvatata Vidrabama Samaya Sado Ngombo Dani Mishi Mumbai Damsel and Engaljan Lama Gombo Jabzu Zon Puja Jimbo Dangi Jendo Zalada Jabje Gozon Do Zawatan Lagi Damsing Yamcha Damje Dolo Shaso Didring it on Timeso Damje Janshan Daparandet Duje Sambaki Shinzumbadan Jeveri Puji, Didring it on Damje Tawa, no Jekai, no Salvara, Didiv Contashil Conjur, Yan number. Dananda de Dorsem Guru, Janandi Tawaram Jamravara, Om Bandrasado, Om Bandrasado, Om Bandrasado, Om Bandrasado. Om Bandrasado, Givandi, and Yoda, the Jason Bandagan and Wajigama. Te Salango Bresho, Saji, Bujishan and Hodra, and taking Bande Sangye, and to make them. Rugunam Dashin La Jabra Dam Guru, Radamandala, Puja, Mekansama. Masamaya, Aho, Yeshe, Mentor Sambo, and the Burbe, Chanchulamla, Partit Mijon, the Sundar Jacobato. Minishin Nam Katanyam Bindonam Trover, Shoes, MJ, Namji, Samba, Don Louis, Judge. Take by in Chuki, Kolo, Cordo, so Gunzanders and Garavicheris and Benjon, Sakiranga, use the Katriki Pichu, Kundugan, Lamanam, Lakuja, and the Blins the weekend to Jonya, don't to Jilondon, Betungayan, Tetung, Bebe, Trishaki. Kundi Chukru to Belonchim, but to me was rich of Lakuja, and so the mere conjunction king or Nikusum Java against the Chisoja comes from Chuki or Zosimba. Dudjom Bishop Lakuja and so considering the Newton Dorjes, Mount Desham upon the age of Tata Pension Gas of Tobin. Jittery Shidojela Kuja and so number Medoji Gunga, one jittering Git Dorjig, no Dorji Lungi, and all Jasum. Tinlin Bishop Lakuja and so Kantajo Dongin and the Shelumber Gilbacons on that under Tempechaki. Chuki Jervesember the Patam Gentreshe, Manjunduanam Kitatan, Besim Gentam Genam Yelana Mebayanta Brozo, Sangye, Koban, Bochela, Chinikan Gobraja. They don't do choose someone the yam so long review and be long young topical December shows.
Please listen to the following teaching with a genuine motivation, namely the motivation of bodhicitta, which is the mind set on attaining enlightenment, unsurpassable. Please give rise to the genuine motivation, the motivation of bodhicitta, which is to think, I will establish all mother sentient beings who are limitless as the expanse of space at the level of perfect, complete enlightenment, and in order to be able to do that, I will now listen to this profound teaching and put it into practice.
Oh yeah, that ring also Sheji Chode Congress and Semki Song want to show us and that great secretary mind said and then also in Tolkisha Titi, the ring in Sheji Chode Teres.
The subject of the teaching today is the book entitled The Great Secret of the Mind.
Tiniti in the content did Tepemiki Chembuchi red and Dinana in section Yati Mongo Shuji do, that in the Kala Tamche, Marashia Gochona, and the Feche. Manguchi Lagare, the Indian Circus Lagare Mare, the Indukala, the Tandan Dagging on the Nigit and the section Kashi, Misukarne, the Canabala Shuguins.
So, this is a large book, a lengthy book, and if we were to go through all of it, if I were to teach all of it, this is something that would take many days. It wouldn't be finished, we couldn't cover everything in one single day. So, that being the case, I've chosen a few sections of the book, and I will discuss those today.
The great secret mind Nani, Zogpa Chenpo Nani, Tawata Gombatan Shedpa, Tisum de Tene, Sheroches, that section Sumdo Jina Kandina Shido, Intelligent Sheroches Seguyore, the Tiring around so Tene, Tawa de Seguyore, then Tawakin Nangla, Tiring around so Gitene, subject to Ina, Tene Chubdun. Jobje Churkusum de Shena, the Pema Budu, the Tizushana and Sarsa Marite, that Tinzuti, Tinekanamba, Tagu the Tinas, drink Tinan, Tema, Sacheta, which and Shaggy. The area word watching to the subject Sarsa Mare, the Corona Mongoshe, and there was again the Titol Castle Dotan, Titol Lung Mountain, Titol Shepa Gachewa Chigoyore, Tinigina. Disum dia tene chik dia sarsa mare te din tan disum gi nang den do chik tene ngi shegi de kya na ba tham che ge dinsun nang yang yang ta chene te kan de du ta ge na te pheche et kya na ba ge hakko do gi res.
So what I was requested to teach here was the view, meditation and conduct of the Great Perfection according to the way they're presented in my book, The Great Secret of Mind. So from among these three, the view, meditation and conduct, tonight we're going to be looking at the view. And from among the topic of the view, specifically I've chosen three chapters or three sections of the chapter in the book that discusses the view. These are 1.17, 1.18 and 1.19. So just three sections. Nevertheless, even to go through these three sections in detail would take much longer than the time we've got. I'm not going to be going through these sections, these passages word by word. Really, when we talk about giving a commentary on a text or teaching, we mean to expand it and clarify it with further explanation, by ornamenting it with further quotation from the scriptures and so on. So what I'll do today is simply to use these three sections as like an outline that you can also use as a reference point for yourselves later. And I will teach the essential content of these three. So I'm looking out at you and I don't see anyone holding a copy of the book. Does anyone have a copy of the book? If you do. So only two of you have the book or have brought the book with you. Even though the content of this teaching is about the book, right? You asked me to talk about the teachings in this book. If you had brought the book and if you had the book in front of you while I was going through it, that would help a lot. That would help you understand the teachings and what I'm explaining more clearly and much more deeply.
인데가다 대변한다 맨한당인 데 셰기레 대캬나바 탐제 디 삽제소 템바체네 오 드링기 셰기게 삽제디 디트네트네제레도 스캐나 바투라 샤와이나 딘디그레스.
So whether you guys have the book with you or not, I'm going to teach from the book, these specific sections from the book. So try and keep the sections that I'm teaching in mind.
데니캬나바 탐제 뎁미도 nga 셰기 레하더서 인지비제 뎁 따보면 나란데라지 마시아시안 딕사레스.
The fact that most of you don't have the book has made my job easier. I don't necessarily have to follow the book now.
켄저게 삼나 림보지 뎁낭 시에서 맞아 하고 막 계속 뎁이요 말때 나랑 강랍시나 쿠시레스.
So you won't even know if you'll just think, oh, Rinpoche, whatever I say now, you'll just think, or presume that I've taught from the book. But yeah, I'm free to say whatever I like.
nga tagi di teb de pechata di kangla ta tring section di de disha koresan tilji yangta che chik tos prepare tos che inde tanda de gyoba ke ni misu jigla teb ni midu ka ngi prepare che gi thola sha tu sam ge de shar ge tus.
Earlier today I did some preparation for this teaching. I chose 3 specific passages, I read through them, I reviewed them, and I prepared a talk based on these sections. But now I'm here and I see that no one's brought the book with them, so I have a bit of regret. I think that time I spent preparing was a waste of time.
Yeah, ta kaina digdo tini ta teringi sheshi di alanzo tamje de ngi gitanda tagi kan labresana semjin tamje gyula sangye Nyingpo yusul sta semjin tamje deshing Nyingpo sagen je yore sta ti chidang ge deshing Nyingpo sagen te tini tawa ge sheshi de zo de kan rasana Deshing Nyingpo koni shago yore. Deshing Nyingpo di Zogpa Chenpo chibu mayimba, ndo singi tekba nani Deshing Nyingpo shegi yore, sanga doji tekba nani shegi yore, di rang Zogpa Chenpo ni shegi yore, Deshing Nyingpo sekende chichab ki shegi yore. Yina yang Deshing Nyingpo sekende nguyen zindang dang, Deshing Nyingpo di tini rangshin ki tini karpara ngogu judang tila, tini togo sigi kebar yores.
Deshing Nyingpo ki rangshin.
Deshin Nyingpo rangshin nguyen zindang tila ndo singi tekbi ki Deshing Nyingpo kandri segere tene sanga doji tekbi nekabza kandri segere lakbar to Zogpa Chenpo nekabza kandri segere tila te kebar chenpo yores.
So we'll start by looking at or discussing the topic, all sentient beings have Buddha nature, or reasonable proof that Buddha nature exists in our mind stream, namely the fact that all sentient beings have Buddha nature or Sagata Garbha. So this is being said from the, according to the view, it's said that all sentient beings have Buddha nature. And this is not something that is taught only in the Great Perfection teachings. It's also taught at the level of the vehicle of characteristics, also in the vehicles of secret mantra, and of course, also at the level of the Great Perfection. So all the various levels of teachings explain that all sentient beings are endowed with Buddha nature. This is a teaching common to all levels of Dharma. Nevertheless, the way that Buddha nature is identified, the way it's understood, is different. It differs according to the various levels of teachings, especially the way it's identified in the Great Perfection.
India kala tak zipu shega chige na Deshing Nyingpo koronge commentary nangjang sege nangjang sege ti tene tangbo mepa chikbu chalwa lundu sege tene sabche ji go ne nangjang de sheba re nangjang ti yang de sheji de kala Deshing Nyingpo re nelu rangjung se pekela shembo re de sheji de kala se Deshing Nyingpo re zobdun se kala shembo re zogba chin zobdun dige sheji de kala se Deshing Nyingpo rang re de Deshing Nyingpo re de ndo singi tekwane Deshing Nyingpo de kandre je sego re yagini tene kara sangana kandra tilachigina pe different shukke chumbu shuk chumbu yore ti tawa kodang de pe kesa shuk chumbu yore ta ti korong tola ngazo ge shepa ina tiring ni chodu ni de shena zawa ni na zogu mar ti indi kangla ta ti zo rob tse jingi kena bar shunu ma to ge tene pe mi ge gewa shige ina ti ngazo te tuzu ge dang maris.
So the topic is Buddha nature. If we sort of point to very magnanimous, grand teachings, we can give the example of Nangjang, Buddhahood without a text that's translated as Buddhahood without meditation. That entire teaching is actually a commentary on Buddha nature. Likewise, Neluk Rangjung, another text, which we could translate as the self-arisen natural state, is also a commentary on Buddha nature. Likewise, Longchenpa's Seven Treasuries, they are a commentary essentially on Buddha nature. The subject of all of these grand teachings is Buddha nature. That said, the way Buddha nature is explained and understood in those teachings is very distinct from the way Buddha nature, the same Buddha nature, is explained and understood at the level of the vehicle of characteristics. If I were to go into this in any more detail, our 2 hours of teaching here would go just on this. So I won't go into this in more detail, I just mention this fact here.
Tine indu kala ta deshe nyingpo segen te gyuli keba dang kenli cheba kage mara gyugin le ma kebe ngarang semjin tamchi ki gyula tine ta rigla sangye pomo ke yawa meba tamchi ki gyula tine deshe nyingpo segen ji yores ti deshe nyingpo te tine ta donga tamchi ki sheshiri indu kala tine ta kandiche tine deshe nyingpo ke rangjungi ishi te kandiche ngundu gyurbi ke tabla tine lam mangpo che chaga yores.
Buddha nature, or Sugatagarbha, this is not arisen from a cause, it's not created by conditions, it is not the product of causes or conditions. Buddha nature is the nature of all sentient beings. All sentient beings, without exception, without distinction, are endowed with Buddha nature, whether it be male or female. All sentient beings possess Buddha nature. This is taught at the level of sutra and also mantra, and in those teachings, then different ways to manifest or actualize Buddha nature, this basic endowment of sentient beings are taught. That's right.
Tini indi kata deshe nyingpo te ke tene hamako ala tene nilu kisho te hat koto biyo mare. Ti indi kata tangshu ngarang su kang ko warasana shitawa tenla pabri nekab su 당보 뒤에 되네 샘기랑신데 강인바 야 대식 닝보디 컨디션 중인바 디디 하고 그래 디 하고 그래 제발라 당랑도 샘진 탐질 대식 닝보 열에서 라와 잠치기 고치기 메래 나랑도 도바서 나 상기가 퀄리티 가야 나라 니 초네 마사 니 디바니 마타 나 상기 컨디션 규지 열에 삼는 나랑도 도바서 그래 디나 디 도바데 사고 말에 대식 닝보스게 미기 퀄리티가 라죠 말에 주축부가 라죠 말에 톱친부가 라죠 말에 띵 나랑도 샘예 춘지지라 대식 닝보스게 요래 나랑도 매제 키다 팍팍자다 지우양주지라 대식 닝보도 요래 이나양 대식 닝보도 시리 내루도 온도 마겨네 가시온도 귤 마토 가로 감숨 가로와라 겸 가시 또서 온도 귤땐 소람도 저란데 가시 양 망즈지 온도 귤템 사주 장주선 맞아 가시 용수 방문에 상기 고방톱도 띵이도 간라 너나 시 대식 닝보들라 녀려당 또비게 녀려고네 되게 개발자로 요레스.
We, without understanding that we have Buddha nature and without understanding Buddha nature itself, we cannot understand the natural state, the abiding nature of phenomena. That being the case, first of all, we need to resolve the ground, meaning the basic nature of things. The basic nature of Buddha nature, we need to understand what Buddha nature is, how it is that we are endowed with it, and what we mean by Buddha nature. Because, when you're told, all sentient beings are endowed with Buddha nature, with Sugatagarbha, you might then think, well, how can that be true? Because I'm a sentient being, I am afflicted, I'm afflicted by emotions, by karma, and so on. I have obscurations. I'm limited by my obscurations. So how can it be that I have Buddha nature? Well, all of us are essentially endowed with Buddha nature. Mind, the essential nature of mind, is Buddha nature. This is the case no matter who you are, no matter what type of being you are. Every single being, including humans, pigs, dogs, everyone, the essential nature of their mind is Buddha nature. Being endowed with Buddha nature doesn't depend on your circumstances, like on how rich you are, what status you have, how talented you are. It's just the basic fiber of our being, Buddha nature. The problem is that even though this is the basic fiber of our being, we haven't actualized it, we haven't made it manifest. This being the case, Many of us are wandering in samsara because of failing to manifest our basic nature, Buddha nature. There are some beings who have started to actualize Buddha nature to some extent. Those beings are now on the paths of accumulation and the path of joining. There are other beings who have manifested it a degree more, and they're on the 10 bodhisattva bhumis. And then there are beings who've manifested Buddha nature completely, entirely, and those are fully enlightened Buddhas. So the differences between all of these different types of beings is just, it just comes from how close we are to realizing Buddha nature, our basic nature.
인디 가라다 니디 계속 개화시고 전에 결혼해서 니디 대문랑 로로시 대딘남 로게 있나 땅 안쪽 그 sem진 귤 대식님 뭐 간대지 때문에 상계 요라서 때 짤로랍셔야 돼. 다 먹고 남나 뒤쪽에 장사 말이야. 별난 안쪽 심플게 빼 시작이나 대식님 부서긴 때문에 상계라도 줘야 돼. 상계군도 줘야 띵 안쪽 랍고 말 상계군도 줘야 돼. 띵디 땅은 안쪽 자단 쉬운 바단 부 sem진 솔라 있나양 캠바단 제와 숨기게 되네 규여 받지 않아서 통교여서 빨나 나랑서 그때네 자치우리다 이나야 랑게 부글에 제와여서 디인도 강라 장주 숨기게 캠바단 제와 네와 숨석인데 나랑서 그 샘징게 뒤수 나랑서 그 지단게 제와던 디네 캠바단 네와 따지 빼 노멀게 개와 캠바단 제와줘야 돼 상기게 살아 캠바단 제와 네와 숨 타르치네 조비 상기게 거 원을 보지 더 그렇지라고 그래 캠바다 제와 타르치사도 상기를 요래 이나양 단다 자단 지우 연주직라양 캠바양 요래 제와양 요래 니바양 요래 나조게 독쇼지 부정마다 자질 빼샤가이나 그런 거 부글 빼자와 지시고 요래 뒤제와래 그런 게 달라 나바시기 단지 년나 숨겹지주기 지 그런 라양지 남주지 요래 딜 캠바스 요래 양 그런 부정마이나 그런 중중 그 빠위기 거럽빼 가라서 잘라이나 렌토와다 파르케토 같은데 자이나양 yang korang nibat namla purki salan zuri chiki nibachi yore rangi tine kyobkyudan shenla pe golkyu ki nibachi ke yore dinna shinchiki semchen ta tingi shortcut di sheshen tatin mogu shene kya nazu magi korang la tep korang tana yore diyendu kangla khenpatan tsewa niwa sumdi semchen yizi tamchile yore ko korang namche di nibachi tanda yobatil teni o deshek nyingbu ki chiki sogore ta ngarang soge 대식 님보 유비게 땅으로 지라 샘진 유수조라 랑게 부구라 세워요 되게 되네 지금 남주요 되게 자조에나 미글 빼윤된 요 되게 그러봐 야 박바르다 나쇼로 윤된 요 되게 랑부체된 락발로 윤된 사오고 슈하고 되게 딘득이 캠비기 윤된 지가 다 중산의 사람들은 된다 요래 되네 캠바당 제와 다 제와선 랑게 부두글 제와 랑게 되네 제와디 요래 되나신게 캠바다 니바니 요래 되네 지금 달란데 받쳐도 랑게 중급시도 와다 자소이나 뺨미기 랑게 제살길 뺨미기 슈크션 보여 되게도 리타르이나 캔 달라다 줄로 숑게 뺨미 슈크용기도 그런 게 라란스서 니바지래 딘디다 된소 간데지 됐어요 방제 대식님 보게 쌀레스 나랑도 단다 중주시에다 디 첨부야 계속 때 상게래 탑친소나 단디랑 귤라만 나와지 룽저래 마다 다바당 신도 남다 거런지 sem진 자주 선바이 야 sem진 자주 선바 이세다데 마다 다바당 신도 남다 거런지 sem진 자주 선바 대신식 과시죠도 소다다데 딘데진 레벨도 시에나 초람다 jorlam다 통람다 밀고 상기기 사서 딘데기네 레벨 시에샤요 진짜 탐지데 디 쌀이야 계단 거는 시고요스
If you want to know about this in more detail, much more detail, then you can read the book. The explanation, much more detailed explanation I've given in my book. I explained quite very clearly there how it is that all sentient beings are endowed with Buddha nature. Simply speaking though, I'll explain now by means of an example or analogies. So we don't need to explain or give proof that Buddhas, enlightened beings, have Buddha nature, because it's obvious, right? They have perfectly, fully manifest Buddha nature, they're enlightened. But how is it that sentient beings have Buddha nature? Well, all of the qualities of enlightenment can be summed up in the trio of knowledge, love, and ability, or knowledge, love, and power. And we can see evidence of these three qualities, these three intrinsic qualities in all beings, including animals, even in birds and bugs, and in large animals like deer and so on. Of course, in humans. So even when we are in the state of sentient beings, at the level of sentient beings, we haven't yet manifested our Buddha nature, our intrinsic nature. We can still see these qualities of knowledge, love, and power shining through. At this level, they're just in an ordinary, at an ordinary or common level or form. We can see them in their fully fledged form in Buddhas, the perfected or fully expanded form in Buddhas. But even now, like I've said, even in bugs and birds, we can see evidence of these. For instance, if we look at how birds behave, birds have a natural love for their children, right? For their chicks. This natural affection for their chicks. That's a sign of love, intrinsic love. They also demonstrate intelligence or knowledge. They have different strategies to survive, to build nests, to search for food, to protect to search for food, to build their nests and so on. These are all signs of natural knowledge. They also demonstrate natural ability or power, the fact that they can fly, the fact that they're able to do things to protect their young, protect themselves and so on. And we can see this in other animals as well, right? So in short, to give a shortcut, and like I said, you can read about this in much more detail in my book, these qualities intrinsic qualities of love, knowledge, and power that we see even in animals, this is proof of Buddha nature, proof of the presence of Buddha nature in all sentient beings. So just to say again, we can see even with birds and animals, they have this natural love for their offspring. They naturally demonstrate different types of intelligence. Being able to search for food, being able to create habitats, like elephants are able to sense earthquakes and so on, or water. Elephants are able to sense water through their feet. They also have different abilities, like deer can scale steep mountainsides. Some animals can swim deep underwater. These are signs or evidence of this intrinsic power, right? One of the qualities of Buddha nature. So all of these things are sort of signs of the intrinsic qualities of Buddha nature shining through, even at the level of sentient beings, ordinary sentient beings. When these natural qualities are fully expanded, when they're perfected, then that we call full, complete enlightenment. To back this up with a quotation from the scriptures, it said, in the Supreme Tantra, it said, impure, impurely pure, and perfectly pure are the 3 degrees of purity. These relate to sentient beings, to bodhisattvas on the 10 bhumis, and to sugatas, meaning perfectly enlightened Buddhas.
Oh yeah, the indicala tang around the Tamjela descending with your the indical tati tekbar good jan jagur, then I don't think to and you marry dinner jarsha, you can answer Debna Yabo looking in Nilabjotam de Sarwaka del Dinan Tisha Yore. The inner young tang around so get the Simki Jul descending go yobate, Tanga the Pebangusung share, the dinning around Donala, Olgun Papa Lutuki, Ching, Tobanala, come you nani lechepe. Salidam the Toraguro, come in any leche, Numon Bashi Kivrigurus, Tapena, Sergi Yonaya, Ser the Saola, Serio, nothing Saola legend as a Saonia, Tassa Court, and he had the Sat Chula tree, the Sertinger. Son, the Sermon as a twin Dudjom, Lam Calicaro, Petina Jinjegi, Aranzo Gula, the Shaking Guyana, Sangye Kiju Guji Yovaina, then other Telekirim Zorim get Hagum, Zogpa Chenpo gum. The 19 get parole to Chipatula, Labna, Sangye go on top to Gre, quite good you into again, the Sama, the Sangye go on top Gre, Ranlas, the Nyingpo, Chanshu Semki Ju, Ranjung repeating Mebaina, Chokazu Legacy, the Pena Sam, Ser message like Kazu Ko, Kazu Dini Dichenate, Nanda make it Calicarore. Oya tea in Ducala, Tini serious as a Sertungere, Petinaging around to Tamjela, Sanji good Yuna. Ting around the Lam Gomneta, Umata, Chachenta, Zoshenlas or Lam Lavaina, and the Sanging of the shit to go. Tin Ducala, that Andangazo de again, Tamji, Chela to you again, Haber to Yantine, Sanga Chula Tebayo again, Titolayan, Zogba Tebayo against the Inducala, Keranzo Tamji, Tawa the shaking with the Nazo Sem and Duka, as a Tamput de la Taya with the Jene. 딜러티네 녀파 약부지 깨투바이나 다티네 녀파 깨워져 빼자 따기는 로 먹고 버도 따기요래 다 줄라 말아서 베게 내기네 따기요래 나가 나라시나 또소데 상완닝불아서 만나 다틴데 그 롱텐 준세 릭파 카로 랍교 말에 디치치기네 요래 랍겐데 딘라 마임베게 요비게 준센단 두제 망보지 거데 되네 딘리 도네 되네 시기 대వర్식닝부터 두요래 다디 강신은 마시나 랑라 셈라 이시지 고요래 오다 레드와세 Cepat jadi hak koina anda, mare rang lama cing menga ke koina anda, tonton sih kuare deh. Tinggalnya makin berdasar macam kansung sana. Ini lama segini pekar kedin cembores, lama pesa cembor cing tanggaran so hice macam lama cing tujuh tu pemi ke kalwasang bores. Pernah peja cing tagaina lo mampu cing cupang, lo nishu zadang tanah Yeshe tu utang Nyingpo tu utane. Tene tazo dedi chik deshe Nyingpo tang Zogpa Chenpo ki tang nyepa kego yore, nyepa rang chungre. Tiang kali kabare pecha de Khawa shiwi che Zogpa Chenpo la kapchok lok de gen thawu tang nilu go tuen le kapchok lok de gen tana yung sigre. Tene peta lama sangpo sagen de kanda jire se na ngarang zo ser chik peta bo chine nyogo do ji na. Ser jing rang ke ser takje chi ma she. Ta rang ke ser yimi ha me go kerang zo ser la 999 sagen do ta pure gold la 999 sagi do ti 99 yim seba ser chik ha gor chewala rangini ser nyamnyung ga hamoko ta ti mago tu ser khin chigla ser ta shagi chigla yakpo chigla ten dis ser rebe se labne khugi on dis ser ngoni 999 sagi dis ser jacha gyar is la sha phanche o ta khol de lo de sa ta khu dis ser de nyo sha wa ina khol tan thulgu mar mil chongma gom kho koron nang la sha na ya siji yore tin ti re de gal de khugi tine ha mago ina tine mi yakpo chigla ma che tewa ina ya mi duja itne yang ser dia ser mare ser ganze sana ser dia tine ngaran zaina juma do tine kesa ko jong pogarwa ti na shinjigi tine ta ser khrom la lobjong chigo chona ya pe kale ka par lo da dawa mangu ge ser specialist chigo chona yang lo mangu chi ge lobjong chigo ser gi tonda chigo jire te tir kangal chembo chore ko kangal chembo ji gyapni ser ngoshe ba chigdang ko kangal ma gyapni ser khin chi ge lo chesa ser khin chi ge ser is lapshan kali chi ge me ba khu hakwas Di India kangla pete na shinchegi pecha mangpo ta pemi gitene pecha mangpo ta shung mangpo lungru mangpo lo chuptang mangpo gitene jene di jela tene rikpa ngoshe wada Zogpa Chenpo niluk deshe Nyingpo kowa chikdang lama pecha chibu nyamni yogi lama tokpa tumbo lama ranga ichi yose chik lama chi dhamma soni deshe Nyingpo hawa deshe Nyingpo chorang chupdu yore sakitene ngochik tekradu ngochi yonti kangla te pena tine pemi le lau ngani serking ge dama ser tine ngaran so ge tine taksi chige na chi le lau chine tine ser nyowa na chi lama ngto le lau chine ri pach ngo thogi chiga yore tin di tira jingmil ka sa mi harum buji kangsong resena lawe hima ches pe le lau lama chi gin dire deshek Nyingpo dire kheran dinde ji kyola deshek Nyingpo kyola sang de yore deshek ngobu ge rangshin de dinde ji res labna 힘이 아 나란 퀄리티 가게면 나란 시 곰자망이 취지만 나라 tinda지 간데이나 야랑랑 힘이지 양로 니슈스는 좀 빼졌다고 그래 생기지 않고 그래 빼미기 때문에 슝쳐보티나 상황이구나 신 조주면서 나신 틀라 때문에 잡아치고라나 로 니슈자랑서 고도 그래 때문에 깔리 가네 하다안데 릭바망고 루망고 때문에 고년 다당이 되제 Zogpa Chenpo 다 똑토사 말에 시토사 말에 세네 양탕신 기발루는 가서 길루네 pegaro서 popper short네 하면고 때띠인디 미화는 뭐지게 싸위 힘마치 라마 빼미게 아버지 못해라 나랑서 힘이지 tinda지글라 까위 덜마도 빼깔리 가다 양코 Zogpa Chenpo 그 딥라 송나 빼미게 딥래 당원에 건줄 땡줄 삼지기 저제도 Zogpa Chenpo 했다 건줄 땡줄기 포티 잡상 망보지기 저제도 타르투바이나 이 Zogpa Chenpo 했다 이 강아서 이 랍죠마 롱전함 좀 송교래 지밀 그 송교래 가 단단한데 룽탕기요 다 룽망부터나 강아서 뒤수 속도로 강도 야체라서 다다 탐지 루이제 군자 Zogpa Chenpo 람대게 인스라 탐지 Zogpa Chenpo 저기 인도가라 단 딘나신지 레라우지잖아 이마체 빼 슈군당 망부지 로 쭈창 망부지 따나 타르도 되면서 딘데지 하대요 딘디 따티 캐랑스로 랑와래 오다가 Zogpa Chenpo 시우지 야 쳔부지 고도서는 그냥 롭종 지고다 좁든데 오던 초치 보서 딘데 롭종지나 디야 로직니 고추고 말로 로 쭈창 망부지 롭종지네 던지 떠거래 야나 캐랑스 라마 약부지 싸라지는 문니게 라마 약부지 뛸 때빠 넘버 딱 봐지 랑게 문니게 때빠지 되네 거라 샤네 Lama ko ta kirang de pe khashe de dunjun bu chi loma yin sung du tungu khizren bu chi loma yin otta dinjul la ga lama chi ta ngone tuchen gya jo yogi mar chekpa chek sa te dindre kundin la tina range zogpa chenpo ge rikpa ge semtak chö de na o dirang te ma semtak khon chen ti tola amar jane tini chik sem go ta wa ina te sangye de thak bu mare rocket nan rogen de resla.
So we have Buddha nature, right? All sentient beings are endowed with Buddha nature. This is taught at all levels of teachings, but it's taught, the way it is taught varies according to the 9 vehicles of teachings. I won't go into those details now. I touch on them in my book, so most of you here are old students of Dharma, so if you do read my book, there are more details there and you'll be well equipped to understand them. So we all have Buddha nature. As taught in the scriptures, in his praise of the Dhammadata, Nagarjuna says, if a stratum of gold exists, gold may be discovered. However, if there is no Buddha basis, if there is no Buddha nature, whatever you do, only emotivity is engendered. This is to say that if there is gold present in rock, present underground, then it's possible to extract that gold, right? If there is gold underground, then you can dig into the ground, you can extract the rock, and then you can process it and get gold, right? But if there is no gold underground in the rock, even if you dig up the ground and you pull out rocks, there's no possible way that you're going to get gold, right? Likewise with Buddha nature.